Welcome back. My next guest is described on the cover of his new book as the Dream Detective. If what he claims is true, it is the perfect title. Chris Robinson believes that he has the power to predict through his dreams events in real life. Each night, using a process called automatic writing, a mixture of words and symbols, he records his dreams. And once they're deciphered, he says he's able to predict plane crashes, floods and earthquakes, and even terrorist attacks. You're very welcome, Chris. You predicted, let's start right at the very beginning, you predicted the IRA bomb recently.
Yes.
How did you know that it was going to be roughly where it was and in the circumstances? Where did it, tell me where, just to give our viewers an idea of how you record these dreams and where they lead you, where did it all begin?
I've been recording my dreams about major news events for a number of years. And when we had the IRA ceasefire 18 months ago, the dreams that I had which contained dogs and bombs and things ceased. And I had quite a peaceful 18 months, dreamed of other things that had been in the news, plane crashes and things like that, but there was no bombs, no dogs and stuff like that.
No dogs?
No dogs.
Now dogs are a prime symbol for you of
dogs are an absolute
means...
symbol, they're an absolute definitive. If I don't dream of dogs, there is nothing to do with terrorism. The moment I dream of them, the dream that contains the dogs will have the overall picture of what's going to happen, you know, in relation to terrorism and the IRA.
It's always terrorism, it's always the IRA,
it is, yes.
It's not someone in a fight with someone else,
no,
it's not the Mujahideen, for example.
No, you still see things like that. If it makes the big news, if it makes news at 10, yes, you see it. But you see it in a different way. It's not the same, it's absolutely definitive. Dog equals terrorist equals IRA.
So you hadn't been dreaming about dogs?
No, not for 18 months.
And then when did you last dream of the dog?
Well, I started to dream of them in January, and my first dream was about the 21st to 22nd of January, and then I dreamt again of them 2 or 3 nights after that, and after that, and the whole thing built up to a picture. First of all, the ceasefire was over, and that I was, in one dream I was at what looked like a concrete flyover, and I was looking at the supports which hold it up, and the bomb had been placed in a vehicle between the two supports, and it blew up. And what I knew was that it was London. What I knew was that I was near water, I knew I was near boats, I also knew I was near an airport. Now the problem is that could have been a lot of places. I wasn't able to tell the security services it is Docklands, but I did write to them and say, look, you know, your ceasefire's over, we've got one hell of a bomb in London.
You've got it recorded in your diary?
Yes, I have.
And this is your diary, your dream diary?
This is my dream diary.
Okay, would you like to flick through it and find the piece where we were talking about this particular incident, the dream of the IRA, the dream of the flyover? And let me just have a look, and you can take me through it very briefly, if you will.
Well, on Sunday the 28th, I've got things to do with a bridge, a river or a canal, and I've got things to do with dogs, and the dogs are here, and the lady that talks to me in the dreams, or one of the people that talks to me, is a police lady who was killed by a terrorist herself. And she said to me, remember Heathrow, we told you about that. And she did, and I thought at the time I was dreaming it, my goodness, if they're reminding me of terrorism, something is happening. And I've got more dreams of dogs on Monday the 29th.
Yes.
And I've got it here, so I carry over to here. We've got more dogs, we've got a problem, it's going to be on a Friday. And then on Tuesday the 30th, I've got more stuff to do with dogs, and you can say it if you want to.
Shot?
Dog shit everywhere.
Dogs everywhere.
Basically
on the
it means the mess that they make.
And you don't
Dogs are the terrorists, and what they leave behind is the mess.
I see. Okay, now let's go right.
And you go on building it up. I've got a garage, I've got a car park, and you take all these pictures out, and we go into more, and we get more problems.
And this all comes through one night or 2 nights dream?
No, I mean if we
over
take
a period of time. Oh, I see you've got the date on the top.
Yeah, the date's on the top, and that night there was just that page, and then on the Friday there was 2 or 3 pages.
Right.
But on February the 1st, and there's the bridge. The dogs are here. They're the 2 pillars that hold it up. And I've written in here things which frighten the life out of you. I've got a big train. I've got a steam engine. Now these are symbolic. and I've got live steam. Well, live steam is about as much pressure as you can get. It's used in all the generating of electricity. When you see something like that, it means power, it means pressure. And then I've written down here various things, and I've got dogs and John Major. Well, if I substitute IRA for the word dogs, I've got IRA and John Major was a problem, IRA fighting still a problem, and then I go on to this place where this bomb is, and there's people drinking in a pub, and I've got this whole scene of what's going to happen and the devastation.
Now, you're in touch with the police, aren't you? Through all these years, way back to about 1989 or even earlier.
Oh, even earlier.
Even earlier.
Certainly 89, the police who are concerned with things to do with terrorism became interested and involved with this.
Okay, so when you ring up a guy who you presumably know at a police station where you live, and you say, I've been dreaming about dogs.
He says, fax it to me.
He does. He doesn't say you're...
Oh, no,
do we have to humour this guy?
No. Well, why would they humour somebody for 6 years? I mean, the people have said this to me before, you know, what, I mean, they're just humouring you. Why would the police appoint an officer at a very high level to deal with somebody to humour them? They'd tell you to get out, and if you come back again, you're nicked for wasting police time. Well, I think they would. I mean, I actually am not wasting their time in the way they see it, because otherwise they'd say that to me.
So when you took them that piece of paper and you said to them, this is what it says, roughly, IRA, bridge,
they said,
what did
there's
they
a
then
ceasefire, don't be silly.
That's what they said?
Yeah, there's a ceasefire. And I said, well, as far as I'm concerned, it's over. And I then follow a procedure. I sent various messages to various people.
You mean within the security services?
Yes, I actually sent a letter to the security services in London. In fact, I sent two. I sent a description and a map, and I sent a summary of what it said in each dream and what night it was about the dogs.
Have you ever been able to stop anything from happening? Anything that's come through your mind and you've told the police?
Well, you don't know, because you see, police get information about incidents from a variety of sources. And if I tell them about something and I see a result, the police will never say to you, that was your bit of information. They don't do that. It's a policy. And I think I'm glad in a way, because I think I'd be frightened if I knew it was directly something I did.
Okay, let's take you back to the very beginning. Here's an ordinary guy, goes to bed at night, sleeps maybe some nights, doesn't sleep other nights, but doesn't have the dreams. You haven't been having these dreams all your life.
No, they started in 1989 in September as a regular thing. But I used to have dreams. I mean, I expect you have dreams. You wake up and you think, oh, what was that all about?
That's right.
But that's all it was. Sometimes they were pleasant, and sometimes I used to think, well, that's a coincidence. That seems to relate to something that happened. But if it only happens once or twice a year to you, you say, coincidence, strange, that's interesting, and you leave it. You start having it night after night, you know what the dogs mean, you can plan the whole thing out in advance of time.
But when did
it's
you...
quite frightening.
I'm sure it is. I'm convinced. I mean, I don't know how on earth you can look forward to going to bed at night when this all comes out.
Sometimes I don't. But you become addicted to it as well, because, I mean, I'll go to bed tonight and I'll think, I wonder what I'll dream. Where will I be? And it's actually not so much what will I dream, it's where will I go? Where will I find myself 2 or 3 minutes after I've closed my eyes?
I mean, you go out of your body?
You go out of your body and you are somewhere. And you're witnessing something which will happen in a day, 2 days, 3 days, up to 3 weeks in front. There's a window of 3 weeks, which seems to be pretty definitive. That's a block. You don't get past that 3 weeks.
So when you started dreaming dreams like this, when did you put the connection together between a disaster that had happened, a shooting that had happened, and your dream?
The 1st of October 1989 was the first time I was absolutely sure I could do that. I had the dream on the 3rd of September where this soldier took me to a hotel. I was so worried about it, I reported it to the police. In fact, I reported it to 2 lots of police, 2 separate forces. And I wanted to make sure that if I've told it to 2 people, I've got twice as many people that are likely to be listening to this. And 11 days later, everything that I said in that dream, by and large, was on the news. And I just sat there and I thought, I know this is real. I know this works. Of course, that opens all the problems. How does it work? How do you time travel in dreams? the fact that that is real, it asks more questions than you can ever solve. I don't know. I don't know how you get to the bottom of this.
When did you start the automatic writing? You used to wake up and then write it down?
I used to wake up and write down what I could remember. And after, it would have been sometime probably in the middle of January 1990, I'd wake up and write something. And when I went to write it, I'd say, oh, I've already written something. Mm-hmm. And then you'd read it and think, well, where did that come from? But then you'd write what you wanted to write, or the shock of seeing something there made you forget what you were going to write. But the process has built up over a number of years now.
Mm-hmm. Just before we finish, because we're having to come to an end, I just want to show the viewers, where is this lottery?
Oh, the lottery.
The lottery.
The lottery's
I think
here.
this is very funny. You write at the top of your paper, please help me.
Please tell me the winning lottery numbers.
Yes. Please tell me the winning lottery numbers.
They're going to be...
And then what happens? Nothing.
I should have prepared.
Or does something happen?
Well,
Have you
yes,
got
it
any
does.
numbers? You're not finding it. Where has it gone
I'm
to?
not doing very well, but they are here. Here we are.
That's it.
Now, what I do is any number that...
Make me win.
Yeah,
Please make
me win the lottery, please. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
And I write down things, and I've got cutting 2 wires. So, 2 is a number then. And then I think, cutting 2 wires, that's CW2 or WC2. What does that mean to me? Do I know anybody that lives there? Oh yes, they live at number 17. So I'll write number 17 down as well. And I look for all possibilities in numbers.
And you haven't won it yet?
I haven't won anything big, but I'm about £100 in front.
Good for you.
So I'm not behind on it at all.
Good for you. Drive me mad, all of this.
Yes.
We'll have you back again, because I know you're dreaming something important at the moment which you don't want to talk about.
I don't want to talk about it.
No,
right.
I know. But it's very important.
I think so.
And if it comes true, I hope to heavens it doesn't come true.
Well, if it happens the way I've seen it,
yes.
I'll be quite happy.
All right. Chris, thank you very much indeed. Chris
Thank you
Robinson.
very much.
Let's take a break, but we'll be back in a moment. Do stay with us.